What's up, everyone? I was just checking my guitar. I actually have my mic working right now, looks like. How's everybody doing here on this beautiful Saturday? We're going to do some little Radiohead today, breaking down, learning some Radiohead theory. We're going to talk about a classic Radiohead song, but it's not Creep, not that classic. I have my glasses on so that people think that I'm smart, faking them out. Got my Gibson guitar here, and as usual, this live stream is brought to you by the Beato Bundle. Boom! $99, you get all 4 of my courses, because we're going to be talking about stuff that you're going to want to learn from this, right? So that includes my Beato Book Music Theory interactive course, right? It's videos and goes through all the different music theory we're going to talk about on this, and my Beato Ear Training, which has 80 video lessons and hundreds of interactive training modules to teach you how to hear this stuff. I see people guessing the songs in here. Then my beginner guitar course, in case you want to start learning how to play an instrument. I always say that to people. It's like never too late to begin. My sister has been wanting to learn the guitar. She's like, "Is it too late?" And I said, "It's never too late. You kidding me?" And it's not my iron lung. I see that on there too. And then my quick lessons guitar course, which is a little bit more advanced. You guys have seen my quick lessons on Instagram and on YouTube Shorts. My 1 minute guitar lessons. Man, my knee hurts today. And I said it's not Creep. Those are all included. Most people sell their courses for like $150 and everything. And I sell the individual courses like that. But it's all bundled together for $99. Hit that thing, open up a new tab, because you're not going to want to miss what we're doing here. But you're going to want to know how to figure this stuff out by ear and what I'm talking about. Okay, Radiohead is specifically interesting here because their songs are typically much more sophisticated than your average group. You know, Radiohead is kind of an indie rock band that's also a prog band. And it's not Fake Plastic Trees, but that's a good one too. It's one that I love to come back to because it has a very chromatic melody and it's got really interesting changes to it. I got Mike and Aaron on the stream here moderating. Here's the song. I'm going to start it here. This is off of OK Computer. It's called Airbag. We already have some weird stuff going on in the intro. Okay, I don't know if you guys are hearing this dissonance. You're hearing this. It's up an octave here, but we're hearing this suspended A add 4 sound. You're hearing that sound, but this note C sharp is going on even when it's implying an F major chord there, but it's really kind of implying F major 7 with a sharp 5. And that's a sophisticated chord that you don't realize you're hearing at first, because when the song starts out, it doesn't use that. So it begins, let me play along with it here from the beginning. Matter of fact, I'm going to, let me put up the music here because I have the music. Here's my little chart. There we go. And we'll start it again. My little pickup, I kind of don't have it in there. I have it, but right there, da 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 da. On that F chord. So the opening lick starts out, it's a very chromatic lick. He's implying F major. Now I love that. When the addition of that C sharp implies that A major chord there, because it's a third of A major. You've got F major. And it's really on this F major chord. You're implying an F major with the sharp 4. So it's a Lydian sound right off the bat. There's A major, da da da, A major chord. Da 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 da. I love this chromaticism. Da 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 da. So you've got da da, right? You got F major, da to A major. But that rub that I'm talking about, where you're hearing that sharp 5 on the F chord, comes in here. Because when it's going, hear it there? So it's implying the F major chord with the sharp 5. Then, listen. Then it goes to A sus, right? Then it's going between the sus4 and the 3rd. Right here, the sharp 4 there. Okay, so right here is what we call a line cliche. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. A line cliche is a chromatic line that usually moves from a chord tone. And so it's like the 5th to the sharp 4 to the sus 4, then you get the 3rd there, right? I love that. And you hear that. So it's a 5th, sus 4, 3rd, sus 4 on the A chord, right? And there, da, da. Then here, he goes to the, then he comes in to that, I think I just went off for a second there. Okay, we're good. I think we're back on. Just refresh your browser if it's slow right now. Da, that's a B7 with the add 4. That's the sound you're hearing there. Da, and you hear that note. Da, he sings the flat 6 against that F sharp minor chord. It's beautiful that when he does that. It adds so much tension. So you're coming from a tense chord here. Da, and then he resolves that. This is right here. I love all those answer lines. And then we're back to the intro part. Right? Hear that I. Okay, so what is he doing there? I love that too. He goes to that F natural, which is the on the F on the A chord. implying the F major sound over A. Right? D minor over A. It's like a 4 minor. I love that. I love it. There's so much harmonic movement here, but it's so melodic. That, to me, is the brilliance of Radiohead. They take these things, and Thom Yorke's voice, he's actually singing in a very low register here, right? All those dissonances, all that chromatic movement there. It's okay. So what is he doing? What are these scales that are going on there? So if you take this, bum, bum, right, A major, and then da da, A Lydian, then it's kind of like D over A. I hear more of like an A sus. So we're going between A major and A Lydian. That's called a modal interchange there. And then it continues on. Let me go back a little bit here. And all this stuff, being able to hear these sounds, you can hear this in my ear training course. Because I have these things, these sounds like that. Sounds like that. Dominant 7, add 4s. You don't hear those in other ear training courses. This is a very specific thing. I teach these sounds like it's a dominant 7 chord, but it's like beautiful, beautiful sound. And Radiohead looks for those signs. Johnny Greenwood, these guys look for those kind of voicings like that. Or, right? Those little dissonances are what give the melody so much tension. That's why we call those, I call them haunting tones or surprise notes or upper extensions. The sharp 4s, the sus 4s, the major 7 on that. That 4 minor over 1. When I say 4 minor, like D minor over A, that would be the 4 chord in A major would be D major. The 4 minor there. And this is an interesting thing. 4 minors are weird to me. I love 4 minors, but 4 minors can sound too retro, and in some instances they can sound corny if they're not used right. The way that they're implying this here is that it sounds so hip. There's something really beautiful about that, the way the 4 minor is implied here. It's used with the perfect taste. And that is the key of Radiohead, because none of it sounds stock, right? And it's the arrangement. And they're really, the way that this is mixed with the bass that doesn't come in, when it's, the bass is staggered. There's no bass at the beginning, right? The cello line or the ebo line there is taking the place of the bass. That's why the bass does not need to come in the intro, right? Because it's providing all the low end. You hear the cello and distorted guitar there. There's no bass yet. I love that. Super compressed drums. No bass yet. Here we go. Oh. And you hear him, he's like, dun, playing that sus4 there, that obvious suspension on the A chord to create that tension before it resolves down. And then right here. And you notice too, arrangementally, when the voice rests, there's a break, the phrase, then the guitar comes in with the line to fill the space there. Perfect arrangement. Listen. Okay, then here. Then they go back to, you have that floating sound. The bass is just coming in random, occasionally. Whoa. Now you guys hear that? You hear that? That note there, that flat 6 da, to the 5th. You hear that? I just love that. I love flat 6s on minor chords. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Sting uses it. All my favorite writers. The Beatles use it. REM uses it. Every good melody that's in minor uses the flat 6. I mean, that is just this is a beautiful use of it too. And he just lands on it, on the downbeat of that, but he wants to resolve it, wants to resolve down, but it's tense for that moment. And that's why it's so exciting. First time I heard it, I was like, wow, that is amazing. Oh. And he uses that 7th, and you notice the guitar plays that G sharp, da 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 da, to the flat 7, but then the bass goes up to the 3rd right at the end. It's a very subtle thing, right? But not the bass, the guitar does. Right here. Hear that? I love that because it's bringing you back to the time. But no bass. The bass is still staggered. Still no bass. And then no drums. Then that's a huge space with no drums, right? You're just floating. Once again, somebody said floating there. That whole thing is but you're still hearing da 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 da. You're still hearing that 16th note pulse that's going on there. That's actually filling in the thing so that you still know where the time is, right? I love that Evo sound there. Da, da, right? You can hear that. Da, da. That's why you know he's implying a D minor over A, right? That's where that 4 minor is. It's not stated really in the chords. It's implied by the arrangement, by the notes that are being used here. When I say things like 4 minor, though, you should know what that is. That's a common thing. Radiohead uses these. They use that in Creep. I did that video about Lana Del Rey and the Hollies and Radiohead that used that similar progression with a 3 major to the 4 major, to the 1 major to the 3 major to the 4 major to the 4 minor. It's like, well, what does that even mean? This is all in the first chapter of my Beato book, my Beato Book Interactive course, where I talk about how chord progressions work, diatonic chord progressions, and then things like borrowed chords, secondary dominants, A borrowed chord would be a chord borrowed from a different key. The in this case, the borrowed key is is from the. Hold on, I have a super chat that I missed. Cooper 233. I'm sorry about this. Any suggestion which courses to buy in order? I was planning to get the book, then the ear training course, and how are they different? Okay, you buy the bundle and you get all 4 of them. So that way you don't have to buy them in any order. How would you use them, though? That's actually a great question, Cooper, too. So the ear training and theory are together. You can't know ear training without theory, because you have to understand the theory in order to name the stuff. So the stuff that I'm talking about, borrowed chords, secondary dominant chords, just how to name a chord in a key, how to name a chord progression. If you hear the Nashville number system, this is essentially what this is, this Roman numeral analysis. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord of the blues, right? If you're an A major is 1, D major is 4, E major is 5, A major. C sharp minor is 3, F sharp minor is 6, G sharp minor 7 flat 5 is 7. That's a little bit more sophisticated. Or G sharp diminished, it would. Right? So those are the chords, right? A major 1 chord, B minor 2 chord, C sharp minor 3 chord, D major 4 chord, E major 5 chord, F sharp minor 6 chord, G sharp diminished 7 chord, and then A major back to the 1 chord. Okay? Being able to hear what chord you're on, it's like, oh, that's the 4 chord. Oh, that's a 4 minor chord. Oh, that's a 6 chord. And this is how you know the song's not diatonic. Now, my ear training course goes through all this stuff. It starts by teaching you how to hear major and minor chords. That's the first part. Well, it actually starts out with how to hear intervals. Intervals are the building blocks of melodies, building blocks of chords, and then it moves into hearing triads. Open up another tab, click on it, go to rickbeato.com, or hit one of these things that Mike pasted in there. For the sale, for the bundle there, for all 4 of them. Open it up another tab and keep watching, because I'm going to keep talking about this. So this thing is a little bit more sophisticated. This comes later in the ear training course with and a little bit later in my Beato book. It's further into the first chapter. The first chapter is a pretty long chapter. And I have lectures, video lectures that go along with this that explain this stuff. But this interchange that I'm talking about, going from A major to A Lydian, okay? A Lydian comes from a different key, because Lydian is the 4th mode. So when I say modal interchange, meaning that there's, you have A major is the tonic. If you think of what chords are it, most of the chords of the song, A, F sharp minor, E7, A. But then you have these chords, and you have the D sharp in that chord. And it's like, well, that's not an A major. That's an A Lydian. A Lydian is the 4th mode of E major. But since the bass note is A, you're still in A, but you just call it A Lydian. This is where this modal interchange, you're going from A major to A Lydian, and then you go back to A sus4, which is from A major, right? And then you go back to the 1 chord there, right? But then this B7 chord, once again, this B7 is similar to the A Lydian, because this B7 add 4 is from the key of E major. So you're kind of going from A major to E major. And if you know your circle of fifths, which is the very first thing that you learn about in my Beato Book Interactive, the circle of fifths is the first thing we talk about, because keys that are related, if you're going around the wheel, A major has 3 sharps, E major has 4 sharps. They are next to each other on the circle of fifths wheel. Okay, so they're related keys. They're related by a fifth. So that there's only one note different in the two keys, and that's that note D sharp. So you got D natural is in A major, and D sharp is in E major. That's that sound. Da, da. And then we've added in this D natural, so we have this note here. Da, da. This is what's amazing about Thom Yorke's melody, is that he's doing all this stuff in his voice. He's suggesting these other chords. He's got D sharps and D naturals happening measure to measure. And it's really unbelievable. It's beautiful. I love this. Then that major 7 note is still in A major. That's G sharp. But that note, beautiful, implying that. I love these arpeggios, right? You got A major. Then you got. I did D minor there. That's a fun thing to do too. That's a total tangent, but you'll learn these arpeggios. I have all the guitar stuff in there too in the Beato Book Interactive because it shows you all that stuff in guitar. But it's really for any instrument. Oh, so he just da 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 da. Like, who does melodies like that? That's why Thom Yorke's melodies are so easily identified. I mean, his voice is instantly identifiable, the tone of it. But the other thing is that it's is the note choices, and that he holds on these things. He just knows how to do this stuff. Okay, Go Smell writes, Ben's OK Computer Kid A, legendary run of albums. OK Computer is the perfect bridge between guitar rock of the Benz and experimentalism of Kid A. Perfectly put, Go Small. It really is. I like that. It's the perfect bridge, because it's in between them, between the guitar rock of the Benz. The Benz is really a guitar record, and the experimentalism of Kid A. And Kid A obviously starts with everything in its right place, right? And if you think about you think about the Benz, and you've got, you know, da 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 da. Once again, they do all those weird relationships. Da 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 da. I love that. Oh wait, because F. Do it to yourself. Oh man, amazing. Just, right? Isn't that just? Just, yes. Unbelievable. But that, when they do the tremolo, I can't do it with a thin pick. I love that. It's diminished scale. Man, I got no chops. I gotta tell you this. This is funny. The last person that played this guitar before me today was Nuno Betancourt, and you would think that it has some mojo on it or something, right? Nuno's got the fastest right hand in the world. You think he would have left some of that mojo on it. I can't do a tremolo pick. There. I'm also holding the guitar weird like I always do here. That's pretty funny, right? Steven's like, yeah. I love that. I don't have any of Nuno's mojo from that. He played all of my guitars here. He's trying them out. He's like, man, your guitars play so easy. That's one of the 10 interviews that I have to finish. That I have to finish editing right now. I got so many of them. Oh my God. So this is absolute brilliance. This entire record, I could do Paranoid Android, Letdown, Karma Police. I could exit music for a film. I could do any of those songs on this record. They're all brilliant to break down. Any of the songs on Kid A, In Rainbows, any of those songs. I was going to do an In Rainbows song, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a classic Radiohead, because I feel like young kids don't know this record because it came out in 97. And they should know this record. They should know OK Computer, because it is literally a classic. Julian Lange would be a great interview. Well, that may be happening. By the way, so Nuno was here. I don't know if any of you saw. I posted it on my Instagram that Nuno was here 2 days ago, and it was we did 4 hours. Oh my God, it's gonna be fun. Letdown. No. I love that. I love Letdown. I saw Radiohead play. This is my favorite story that I always tell on here. I saw Radiohead play at this place called the Masquerade. Now, the Masquerade still exists, but it's not in the same place. It used to be an 800-seat venue. They tore it down about probably 7 years ago. It was a great venue. I saw Oasis there in '94 in their first tour. I saw Dave Grohl, Eddie Vedder, and Mike Watt play with Mike Watt songs. It was right after Kurt Cobain passed away. They toured in a van, and Eddie Vedder was the background singer, harmony singer, and Dave Grohl just played drums. But they played at the Masquerade, and I saw Radiohead play on the OK Computer tour with 800 people. I came down from band practice. My rehearsal space for my band was right down the street from it, like 200 yards away. And I said, the guys in the band are like, Radiohead's playing tonight. I said, what? Yeah, Radiohead's playing. Where? Masquerade. What? And we were doing band practice. So I called one of my buddies, and he's like, oh, I got you on the list. And we all went up and got on the list for there. They brought in their own console. And they had a big console. They had a nice console at the Masquerade, but they brought in their own console for the thing that they'd set up, and it was phenomenal. Amazing. To see them in a club like that, that was pretty incredible. Radiohead also, another time they played 1 mile from my studio here, 1.3 miles away in a park. Radiohead. I gotta find a picture of that. Anyways, go to the Beato, to rickbeato.com right now. Buy the bundle. Support the channel. That's what helped makes all these interviews happen. I've got Daniel Lanois coming out. I'm just about done with my Chuck Rainey interview. I was working on that this morning. I'm going to finish editing that today. And I've been working on my Lanois interview. The reason that these things haven't been out sooner is because they're so long. That one's 4 hours, 3 hours and 47 minutes. And it just takes a long time to go through and do the camera things and color correct everything. And we walked down from his upstairs to his downstairs and looked at all this gear and all that stuff. So it's really, really unbelievable. You guys are amazing. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon, okay? Take care.